Have you ever thought about building a pig pipe? Ever used one? Well, today what we're going to do is we're here at Home Depot and we're going to buy all of the materials needed to build a couple of pig pipes, and then we're going to build them. We're going to break it down as far as cost factor of what it costs to build a pipe, and then exactly how to do it. Follow me along. So we need our stakes for the ground. We're just going to use these couple chunks of rebar. We also like to put caps on them because where these are going to be at are going to be in a couple of cattle fields, so we'll put caps on them just for safety purposes. So let's run down to the hardware and get the hardware needed. It should be down here. So what we've got to do is we've got to get a couple of eye bolts, and then we need to get some washers and some locking nuts. So that's what we're looking for first. So let's find our eye bolts, so that way we know what size washers and nuts to get. Eye bolts are right up here. We'll just go with 2 of these. I don't know where anything's at here. So we're going to get these 3/8 eye bolts right here. They've just basically got to be long enough to be able to get through the cap. Put washers on both sides with locking nuts. So now we need to find 4 locking nuts and washers. So let's find some big flat washers. Need some big, like right here. Looks like these washers will do. Now we need to find locking nuts. Yeah, it'll work. Locking nuts, locking nuts, locking nuts. I'm gonna do mine in 5/16. Good enough. Now we need to go to the next aisle over and get cable. So we got to get a couple of cable and some cable ties. Not like the regular cable ties that you're thinking, the plastic ones. We need to get the ones that actually are for like steel cable. The fasteners for them, right here. We're gonna get these right here because what we're gonna do is we're gonna create this little loop to go around the end of the pig pipe and then around the stake. So now we need 2 5-foot chunks of cable. I kind of like the plastic coated stuff so it doesn't fray so much. I can make that work. So let's get 2 5-foot chunks of this. Usually they have a measuring pole or something here with it marked off, but what the hell? Usually they have...
Look at the yellow line on the bottom.
Ah, there it is. Okay. There's the cranker. All right, that was easy. Now off to the PVC aisle. Let's go to plumbing. So we're going to pick up our PVC right now. So this 4-inch here comes in 10 foot. So we're going to cut it in half. We'll have enough to build 2 pipes. So we need to make sure that we get all the parts for 2 pipes. So we need 2 4-inch caps. So I do need 2 of these. I was looking for the end caps. I do need 2 of these and then 2 of the screw-in cleanouts. Where's just a regular end cap? Oh, all right, so I need 2 of those end caps. You can throw them on there. So those will go on each one of the ends of the pipe, and that's where the eye bolt will go. And then this is the end that we use for filling. So this will go on the other end. And then we've got our screw-in clean-out cover that goes on here. We'll just get our little glue right here. All right, let me look at my list to make sure we got everything. 10-inch PVC, 2 end caps, 2 cleanouts, 2 cleanout caps, eye bolts, wash, blah, 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 blah. That's everything. That's everything you need right there to build your pig pipe. And then we're gonna head out and we're gonna get this stuff built out in the field. Super easy, quick, we'll get it done, get it put out. See how everything these days comes down to self-checkout? Where's my employee discount? I don't freaking work here. We got enough to do 2 pig pipes. It is $144.80 at Home Depot. A little bit more than what it used to be before inflation. You know, when I used to build these pig pipes years ago, I think it was right around $45-50 a pig pipe. Now we're up to almost $75 a pipe. Okay, so a lot of guys are gonna say, $75? Jesus! I can go online and buy a feeder for $100. Well, everything has an application, okay? So yeah, you can buy a feeder for $100 or you can spend $75 on a pig pipe. Why get a pig pipe? Well, Here's a couple reasons. So your feeder requires maintenance, requires batteries, or you do it solar and it casts the corn out. If you get 2-3 pigs that come in, you know, they'll hold there for quite a while, or maybe you're sitting over it in a blinder stand or something. But you get a bunch of pigs that come in, they just clean it up and they're gone. With these pig pipes, the big advantage, the big reason why we use it is on cattle properties. So the cows won't jack with the pig pipe. Pigs for definitely will, and every once in a while you'll see deer down there jacking with it too. But the thing is with the cattle property is, man, unless you build Fort Knox around your feeder, them cows will always get in there and they'll always jack up your feeder and flip them and spin them. I mean, we have done all kinds of things to keep the cows out. And shy of building Fort Knox, you can't hardly keep the cows out on our properties from destroying the feeders. So you put a pig pipe down, you don't have to worry about cows. The other thing is it makes those pigs stay in that area longer and have to really work to get that corn out. Now, some guys have also commented on a few videos that said, well, what about the mud? You know, when it gets muddy, they don't work. Well, I'm telling you guys that pigs can smell through mud. They will smell that there's corn in there, and they will keep jacking with it. And I drill extra holes in mine, which is going to let out a little bit extra corn. But the reason why I drill the extra holes too is that way if we do get, excuse me, if we do get rain and mud, hopefully it doesn't clog all the holes, and the pigs will jack with it enough to free up some of those holes and spill some corn. Another little pro tip is throw a handful of rocks, you know, just whatever, you know, golf ball size rocks. Throw a handful of rocks in your pig pipe. That way, even when the thing runs out of corn, those pigs will be turning that pipe around and flipping it around, and they'll hear the clanking and clattering going on, and they'll still think there's corn in it. All right, let's get this pig pipe built. So we're going to cut this 10-foot, 4-inch piece of PVC in half. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our eye bolt here and our locking nuts. Guys, it's important that you use locking nuts because with all the spinning, this thing will undo itself. So what I've done here is I've just took the nut that was on there and locked it to the locking nut. I'm going to stick this washer on there, and then I'm going to add another washer and a locking nut with the cap in between. So now let's drill a hole in our cap. And when you drill your hole, I like to have everything fairly loose, so that way it can spin pretty freely. Oh, damn, did you see that? That sucker caught my shirt like nothing. Let's do it the safer way. So I'm going to stick that through there. Stick my washer on this side and go for a locking nut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 locking nuts on here just because I've got extras. It's not happened very many times, but I have had them bind this thing up and make it to where they do unscrew it. So here what I've got is I've just got 2 locking nuts and a washer, and you can see that it's loose and this cap will be able to free spin. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of pipe here. Let me stick it through here just as a holder. So I'm going to take my piece of pipe. All right, so now I'm just going to take and get my lid, or my end cap rather, stuck on here. And guys, no need to use primer. We're not making this thing where it's got to be able to hold water or nothing. All right, cap is on. And then we've got our clean out on this side. So the clean out on this side, this is where we put the corn in. So it's important that you put your anchoring point on the cap, the end cap, not the clean out, because they will untwist this and all your corn will be out. Okay. Simple, easy. Now, before we drill our holes, we're going to go ahead and make our cable. So we've got 2 chunks of cable. You guys, a lot of guys will use chain or whatever. I just find that the cable doesn't bind up as much. It just kind of can free spin. So that's why we use cable. So I'm just making a little loop on this side, and this will be the one that goes over the stake that's going to be on the ground. Some of you all will use a T-post or something on the ground to anchor this thing down. We just use these chunks of rebar. Mind you, if the pig does get it off that rebar, there's a good chance you'll never find that pipe, because they will push that thing forever, and it'll be down in a creek or wooded area on the neighbor's property. I mean, they'll push that thing forever. All right, I got that that good and tight. Now we just need to do the same thing on this other end, and here we're just going to loop this through and do the exact same thing. So we're going to push this through, loosen these up, bring it through here, do the exact same thing. Come on. Give me a little bit of slack there. There we go. We've been using these pig pipes for a long time, but we've had a lot of people question us and say, you know, or ask us questions and say, what size hole, what size PVC, how long does it last? Well, it's how long it's going to last is going to determine on activity. You know, I mean, when will the pigs come in, or how many pigs are going to come in? How long are they going to stay? You know, that type of stuff. And you will have a few deer jacking with it. Never had a deer on video pushing it, but the thing is we've had deer hang out on pig pipes for, you know, an hour. So the thing is they got to be using it the same. And then some guys only drill, you know, 4 or 5 holes in this thing. I'll put several more than that in here, just simply because I want this pig to feel rewarded, or these pigs to feel rewarded when they come in and jack with this thing, just to keep it going more. You know, we will go through a little bit more corn, but yet it does last a long time. All right, so now let me get out my other drill bits, and we're going to go to the big bit, the 1/2-inch bit, and now we're just going to pop some holes in her. You can see, even with the 1/2-inch holes, how I kind of will hog it out a little bit, just to make sure that the corn goes through it decent. I try to stagger my holes as well. All right, I've got a camera right here in this tree. So, and you can see where that pig had already dug into my bait hole. You'd think that ground would be softer with all the rain we got. All right, now it's time to fill the pig pipe. I did forget my funnel. Forgot my traffic cone funnel, so I'll have to do it my old way, which isn't so bad on the back of the truck. So I'll just prop it up here and then pour my corn right down inside. This corn has been sitting in the back of my truck with the rain, so it's already kind of a little bit stinky. So this 4-inch piece of PVC, 5 feet long, took about a quarter bag maybe of corn. So it doesn't take a whole lot of corn. Slip it over the post. And if you guys find that your corn ain't coming out so easy, then just like I've got a few coming out. You can see it there, dropped one there. But see, every time you roll it, it just drops a few kernels. So we'll just let this pig just kind of push this around, drop a few kernels at a time. He'll really have to work to get at this corn. So y'all, that's kind of Pig Pipe 101. If you guys have any questions, give me a holler. But yeah, it's real simple and easy. Some guys have commented that they're several hours away from their lease that they've got. You know, hey, would a 6-inch pipe work? Absolutely. You know, it's just that this PVC is expensive, and you get in those 6-inch with all the fittings and stuff. It costs a lot more, but you'll be able to get a heck of a lot more corn in it. Some guys have said they've used, you know, 30-gallon drums and stuff like that. You just got to be able to get that eye bolt with the nuts on them and get that fastened to it. So I don't know how you reach down in a drum unless it's got a removable lid, but then you got to make sure that the lid won't come off on you. Pin it, you know, or wire it up, something like that. But anyways, if you guys got any questions, give us a holler. We want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Pig Pipe. Get yourself one.